looks like some folks that voted for the current guy that's in the White House right now are entering their find out phase. Robert posted the following on Facebook that says, quote, "I'm going to put this out there publicly. I voted for Donald. There's been good things he has done and bad, but now it's gone way too far. With his militarized militia, I cannot support this or this president. And as hard as it would be to do so if it comes down to Vance or Newsom, as much as I don't like Newsom, if Vance doesn't at some point does not come out against this or supports it, Newsom will get my vote. F ICE and this administration for letting this happen." Jillian wrote the following, saying, quote, "I did not vote. I was scared to contribute to something I did not understand. I still don't understand the politics of it all. But I do understand when children are starving. I understand when innocent families are being ripped apart. I do understand when the rich eat, the poor starve." The biggest thing that opened my eyes was the welfare being cut off while a huge Halloween party was being thrown. While I couldn't buy groceries, but they all got to party and eat till they were sick, the fact that I have to choose to be a stay-at-home mother because if I go back to work, my benefits would be cut off because I make too much. I've never made more than $30,000 a year, and some years less than that. The fact that I have asthma and can't afford my inhalers without Medicaid. The fact that a young man recently chose to pay his rent instead of buying his rescue inhaler and died of an asthmatic attack, but yet hundreds of celebrities and politicians can afford a stupid weight loss drug. Catherine writes, "I 100% do regret voting, period. My heart aches daily for what this man is doing to this country." Delilah writes the following, "In 2024, I voted for Donald, but I do not stand behind the chaos and extremism we're watching unfold in this country. This cult-like mentality is dangerous, and before anyone jumps in saying this administration is protecting our country, I need to be honest. I'm scared for our freedom. I've been racially profiled twice in the last few months, and that is not okay ever regardless of the color of my skin. Quite frankly, if this makes you mad, you can delete me. You don't need to announce your departure. I'll pray for you, because you cannot call yourself a believer in Christ while supporting harm in the streets, tearing families apart, and treating human beings inhumanely. It's not the left versus right anymore, guys. It's them versus us." Brian writes the following, saying, quote, "Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one, but here's mine. I voted for Donald, and I have made it to the point where I regret it. I would not have voted any other way. I would have just chose not to participate. The two-party system is what will destroy America. You are forced to vote against a candidate rather than for a candidate. The majority of us voted for Donald because the other option was so much worse, and now we are dealing with the consequences." Yeah, I strongly believe Kamala would not have unleashed an entire agency on the streets going after people. If the election would have went the other way, there still would have been consequences, just a different type. I am truly sorry to all of the people my vote impacted. There are federal agents going around kidnapping people, not just like violent illegal immigrants, but American citizens. This operation has gone well past keeping America safe. To be honest, I think this is exactly how the federal government wants it to be. Shock and awe. They are hiding something. I'm all for rounding up all these illegal immigrants that have a criminal record. They have caught some really bad people, and that is a good thing. I understand that an illegal immigrant has broken the law as soon as they illegally migrate into the US, but I think the majority of them are kind, hardworking people and are here for a better life. Rochelle here writes the following, saying, quote, "I was wrong. I voted for Donald and I was wrong. I am not ashamed to admit it. I was scared to step outside of what I knew and what I was taught. I was scared to put a woman in office who was anything other than the pitch-perfect image of competence, integrity, and strength because I thought it would be more damaging to women as a whole later. I was wrong and I regret my decision. I regret my vote." That's easy to say. No shame, no judgment, no humiliation. I didn't know then, but I know now, and my views have changed, evolved. Now see how easy that was. Hope this helps others. She then responds to a comment saying the following, quote, "She projected an image of incompetence because she had poor public speaking skills, and I believe nothing that she said. She was incoherent and ditzy. She was flighty and capricious with no military experience or service." Yeah, and the guy currently in office has dodged the draft multiple times. Lack the understanding of foreign policy and foreign affairs. I don't want a dictator, but I don't want a cheerleader either. Just because one was the wrong choice, that doesn't make the other choice was right. I had choice between wrong and wronger. I chose wrong literally and metaphorically. You want it to be about a race because it's easier than admitting a partisan viewpoint is legitimate and sensible. You know, Rochelle, I had like a little bit of faith in you, and then I read that response, and now I just don't give a fuck about you. Jeremy writes the following, saying, quote, I'm a Republican and I voted for Donald. I'm usually the first person to law enforcement's defense, especially since I have been in those types of situations, but the comments being made this morning by Republicans make me sick. I've watched all of the videos, all the views, even the events leading up to it, and the events following it. This guy did not approach Border Patrol. They approached him. CBP escalated while he tried to de-escalate. This administration needs to backtrack, take politics out of it, and handle this professionally before they lose a lot of Republicans on this one. F political affiliations. Right is right and wrong is wrong. Simple as that. In this moment, your actions will speak louder than your words. Okay, an actual sensible one here. Amy here writes the following, quote, I don't say this lightly. I can no longer support Donald. The actions carried out by immigration are wrong and inhumane, and leadership is responsible for it. Accountability matters, and so does humanity. There was a time when I felt I could support Donald, even if I didn't agree with everything. But watching what's happened with immigration changed that for me completely. The cruelty, the lack of humanity, the suffering of families, it's not something I can justify or look away from. This isn't about politics anymore. It's about basic human decency, and I cannot support anyone who allows that to be violated. Grace writes this message in capital letters, saying, quote, I would like to hear from other Donald supporters. How are you feeling about the last 3 weeks with immigration shootings and murder? Because I can no longer support a president that shows no remorse and continues to allow this to go on. I'm beyond sad. My heart is hurting. And to be clear, yes, I've been a libertarian for many years and also a T supporter for several years. I have my reasons, and no, I'm not. And these are just small amounts of people who have posted publicly about their feelings about what happened with the murder of Alex Preddy, as well as situations with immigration that happened prior to the events of Saturday. Now, in this type of situation, normally part of me would just want to roast the shit out of all these people, but I kind of figured out at the same time that if some are actually coming to the realization about how bad their vote was, I'm going to offer maybe like a little bit of my sympathy, but at the same time, these people are going to have to put in the work in order to actually show that they're not going to vote for the same shit again. And I'm not expecting them to completely abandon their beliefs, but they do have to realize that some of those beliefs are actually very harmful to people. And I'm genuinely hoping that these fractures in the voting base potentially could lead to some sort of blue wave come November if we actually have a vote come November. Because honestly, we're going to need a lot of numbers in order to have a chance come November.